Thank you so much for stepping up and volunteering to become the new Assistant Scoutmaster. It's going to be challenging but very rewarding. Here are 10 suggestions on how to make your journey even more enjoyable. Hey, ScouterStan. Let's talk a little bit about new Assistant Scoutmasters getting involved. Here are 10 essential tips on getting started and how to really turn the whole thing, your whole experience around to being very positive. That's the goal. This whole topic was actually suggested by Bilingual Butterfly. That's hard to say. And they were just starting off as a new Assistant Scoutmaster. And Assistant Scoutmasters are essential to the success of any unit. This is a critical part of what we call the scout-facing leadership, the adult leadership of a unit. This is literally where the adult leader is talking with, working with, mentoring, coaching the leadership of a troop. It is essential that this transition is eased a little bit, okay? Because it can be very dramatic, okay? For some. For some it's a natural. For some it's a real struggle. So here are 10 essential tips on how to really get the most out of your experience in scouting. Now, the first big tip is to memorize and understand the meaning of the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. This is critical for a leader who is going to be an example. And so many times, new leaders were never exposed to scouting when they were a youth. So this is a critical thing that you need to really know. The Scout Oath, Scout Law is the foundation of everything we do in scouting. Now, the second big thing that I recommend is do your training. Make sure you do the online training. That includes your youth protection, which you need to do before your application can actually be processed. In many councils, they can't start that process unless you have youth protection. You will have to keep that up to date every 2 years, and that's done completely online. In addition to that, all of the essential courses for Scoutmaster is actually done through Scouting University. This is, or Scouting U, I should say. The Scouting U system that's on there is online training. It's free. And you will be assigned, with your position, the Scoutmaster training. You want to make sure that you do all of those. Now, the next one is classroom. You will need to take some courses. A lot of councils, a lot of districts have training courses for new Assistant Scoutmasters who want to get more out of it, more practical skills. Not everyone knows how to camp, but it is a learned scouter skill that a Scoutmaster should have. And these live courses can really help in that regard. Then you have ongoing training, okay? Ongoing training is every month. It's called Roundtable. You need to go to Roundtable to know what's going on. This is also where you get in contact with all of the people in your district. All of the people in the council might even be there. So it is important that you go to that. Some places don't call it Roundtable, they call it Powwow. It depends on where you are. So Roundtable is the most common that I've heard throughout the United States. That is a once a month, and it's something that's very important for all Assistant Scoutmasters to attend. That is critical ongoing training every month. Try to put that in your schedule. Usually it's on the same day, at the same time, in the same location. So that's something you need to put in your calendar and make sure that you attend at least half, if not all. Very important. Third, try to get to know your other assistant scoutmasters and scoutmaster. You need to know what they do, what their hobbies is. Do they do golf? Do they do they hunt? Do they do fishing? Things like that. It's critical to become part of the group, and understanding who's in that group is important. And this also follows through if you're going to be assigned to a patrol. You need to know who the patrol leader is. You need to know what they do. Are they on the football team? Are they in band? These are things that are critical. This is information that you can make a small note of, but get all of that information and make sure that it's part of what you do. It will make you more relatable. People will understand. You can understand where they're coming from if they've got a band or a football game or something like that. That's important. Number 4, be a team player. If the Scoutmaster needs a hand, help out. Be helpful, okay? Live up to some of those Scout things that are in the Scout law. Be a team player. Make sure that you work with the Scoutmaster and try to fulfill the needs so that they are not pulled in every direction. You know how kids can be. It can actually turn into sort of a piranha pool. And an assistant scoutmaster can kind of step in and help out, especially if it's like the blue card frenzy or all these other things that happen in a troop. These are things that assistant scoutmasters can be delegated to do. They can also work with their patrol. They might even sit in for another patrol if that patrol's assistant scoutmaster is not available. So these are great things to do, but you need to make sure that you're part of the team. Don't ask. They're not going to. Well, let's put it this way: they're not going to ask you to do something they don't already do. Okay. So they're not going to throw you to the piranha pool, okay? It's not that much of a major thing, but you want to make sure that you're part of that. Hey, before we go any further, I want to make sure that you are invited to come to the live meeting. The live meeting is on the first Sunday of each month at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So please join us. Now, you're going to have to adjust for whatever time zone you're in. But please join us and join in. That's a great way to ask questions, and I'm there to answer them. Also, I want to personally thank all of the patrons on Patreon for their continued financial support. Also, if you would like to become a channel member right here on YouTube, hit the join button and go through that process. It's a great way to help fund what you see here. If you don't want to do a monthly donation, that's fine. We have a thank you button. Just hit the thank you button and make a one-time donation. That is always appreciated. And let's get right back to it. Number 5, be prepared. This is one of those things. As a new assistant scoutmaster, hopefully your scoutmaster is going to be there for some time. And as an assistant, you need to start getting all of the information. You need to make sure that you're prepared to run an event, to run a game, to help with mentoring youth leaders. This is critical skills that the adults helping the youth manage their own troop better. That's the key. And it's critical that that's maintained. Keeping that in mind, you want to make sure that if something was to happen, Say the Scoutmaster got called out of town, a family emergency or something, and couldn't have the meeting. There's no reason to cancel the meeting, okay, because an adult leader can't make it. You want to make sure that the assistants can take over. Give them the skills, give them the keys, give them the contacts, give them the code, you know. That's important to have them as a backup, because things happen. You know, that's the thing about our modern world. Things happen, people get called away. So an assistant scoutmaster can really jump in and be prepared for that. That's something that's down the line. Make sure you get your training, make sure you do all the other things. That's very important. Number 6, communicate, communicate. It's very important. That is one of the skills that a lot of adult leaders need to be able to do. Now, there's also the listening part. There's a big difference between listening and hearing. There's a big difference. Sometimes you've been in those situations as an adult where you're just waiting for the person to stop talking. You're not listening. Okay? So that is one of those things. You got to be able to communicate. Repeat back to them what you heard. Very important. Get that communication skill down. That is so important with new leaders. Don't just assume that you heard what they said. Repeat it back. That's a great thing to do throughout life as an adult. That is a great thing to do. That is very important, and we want to get our youth used to that too when communicating and working with each other. Number 7, leading by example. You know, it's important that the adult leadership lives up to the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. It is very hard once trustworthiness has been lost, once honor has been lost. It is impossible, if not very difficult, to get that back. We have to live by the things we expect the Scouts to live by. In the very first part of the oath, we try to do our best. That is a commitment. It's an ongoing commitment. And it's true within scouting and even outside of scouting. So try to be the example, not the exception. Number 8, try to encourage the youth leadership to use their scout skills, edge method, things like that, to really get that leadership process going. As an adult assistant scoutmaster, you'll be called upon to do the mentoring, the coaching, the guiding part of it all, and trying to help the youth get those skills. It's very important. Even though they're very young, they're going to get those skills. It's just a matter of giving them the tools, teaching them, and making sure that you're communicating completely on the highest level. Number 9, encourage your scouts. Whenever you're dealing with any kind of scheduling, any kind of meeting, make sure that they understand that safety is a priority. Make sure that you download the Guide to Safe Scouting. Read it. It's available as a PDF. You can buy them also. But this is a very essential guide. This is something that is the primary goal for all adult leaders, is to make sure we have a safe environment. And that's very critical, because we can't do anything if it's not safe. That's just not possible. It's just not responsible. So make sure that you get that guide and read it over. And as an adult leader, try to live by that. Try to enforce that. Try to bring that to the meeting. When they start going off on doing things that are not really approved through the Guide to Safe Scouting, you need to be able to say, hey, That's not in this. That's not what scouting is about. Let's get back onto this thing. It's a lot safer. There's more educational opportunity there. That kind of thing. So as an adult leader, and this is true for all adult leaders, Assistant Scoutmasters especially, but make sure safety is your priority. Number 10, I'll tell you what, scouting is a lot of fun. If you can remember all of those wonderful moments you've had, sitting around the campfire, going to summer camp, helping scouts get over homesickness, helping scouts achieve things that they've never could do any other time. These are wonderful memories. Enjoy them. Have fun in being an adult leader, helping the youth really achieve. And that is the wonderful thing. I can recall many times when I think about a scout that I mentored all the way from recruiting in a middle school by burning a little spark stick into a cotton ball. Okay? He hit that spark and it went into the cotton ball and the whole thing started going. And I remember looking into his eye and seeing that spark lighting up so much opportunity for him. That is wonderful. You will have these experiences. Keep them. Keep them close to your heart. These are the fun moments that as you get older, you look back on. That scout with that spark in his eyes and getting into scouting and doing everything in scouting. He was senior patrol leader. He got, I think he got all 3 levels of Nova. He got his Eagle. He got every merit badge. It was a forest fire. It is in his eyes. It was amazing. So, you know, this is the things that I remember and you will remember for, you know, and let's keep this in mind. Assistant Scoutmasters don't stay with the troop very long. They might be 2, 8 years, maybe. You know, it's not very long. It goes very quick. And then pretty soon you think back on all those wonderful memories. You're going to have a great time and always have fun. Don't get burned out on it, all right? If you need some time to do something, just communicate. That's one of those points. We do a lot for our scouts, and I swear this is the best thing that's out there for America's youth. We need to promote this. We need to get this going. And I am so glad that you've decided to step up and become an Assistant Scoutmaster. This is big, okay? If you're already an Assistant Scoutmaster, thank you. If you're a Scoutmaster, please get your assistants to do stuff. Don't take it on yourself. Try to delegate that out. That's one of those important parts. If you are in a Cub Scout pack and you're a leader that's going to be crossing over eventually to a troop, I'm glad you stuck around because these are essential points. These are essential tips to help you become the best possible adult Assistant Scoutmaster leader in your troop. It is definitely a wonderful thing, and you're gonna have some great memories. Okay, so definitely remember all of those things. That is just, you're on a great journey. So write it down. Make a log. Okay, commit them to memory and enjoy them. And scouting is very special, and you are very special. And I will see you on the trail.